Have you ever wondered how to describe the relationships within your family in English? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? We're all part of a family in one way or another, and those relationships are some of the most important ones in our lives. They shape us, they influence us, they provide us with a sense of belonging. And when we talk about our families, we are sharing a part of who we are. In everyday conversations, whether it's with a friend, a colleague, or a new acquaintance, the topic of family often comes up. We might talk about our siblings, our parents, our children, or our extended family. We might share stories, discuss similarities and differences, express our feelings and emotions. In this video, we're going to explore how to express these relationships in English. We'll introduce the key terms, demonstrate them in context, and provide examples to help you understand and use them correctly. Now, let's dive into a conversation that explores these relationships. Scene script. Imagine two friends, Alice and Bob, meeting after a long time. Alice, with a broad smile, greets Bob saying, "Hi Bob, it's been ages, hasn't it? How have you been?" Bob, equally pleased, responds, "Hello Alice, yes, it's been too long. I'm doing well, thank you. How about you and your family?" Alice's face lights up at the mention of her family. "Oh, my family's doing great. You know, we've always been close, but I think we've grown even closer over the past year." Bob, intrigued, asks, "That's nice to hear. Can you tell me a bit more about your family members and your relationship with them?" Alice nods and starts with her parents. "Well, my parents are the pillars of our family. They are always there to provide support and guidance. My dad is the fun-loving, adventurous type, while my mom is more of a calm and nurturing soul. Together, they balance each other out perfectly." Continuing, Alice talks about her siblings. "I have an older brother and a younger sister. My brother is protective and caring. He's always looking out for us. My sister, on the other hand, is the lively spirit of the family. She's always coming up with fun activities for us to do together." Finally, Alice speaks about her grandparents with a fond smile. "My grandparents are the heart of our family. They shower us with love and share their wisdom from years of experience. They have fascinating stories about their lives which they share with us during family gatherings." Bob, listening attentively, says, "Wow, Alice, your family sounds wonderful. You all seem to have a strong bond and love for each other." Alice, appreciating Bob's interest, replies, "Yes, indeed. We value and respect each other's individuality, which I believe strengthens our bond. And of course, we share so many beautiful moments together." Bob finds Alice's family fascinating and wants to learn more. Bob asks Alice about her extended family. "Sure, Bob," Alice begins. "I'd be happy to tell you about my extended family. First off, my mother's sister, Aunt Jenny, and her husband, Uncle Paul, live in New York. They have two children, my cousins, Mike and Sarah." Alice continues, explaining the relationships further. "Now, Mike and Sarah are my first cousins because we share the same grandparents. And if Mike or Sarah have children, those children would be my first cousins once removed. It's a bit tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty straightforward." Alice then moves on to her father's side of the family. "On my dad's side, I have Uncle Dave and Aunt Laura. They also have two kids, my cousins Emily and Josh. So Emily and Josh are also my first cousins, but on my father's side." Bob nods, indicating his understanding. Alice then talks about her in-laws. "Now, when I got married, I also gained a whole new set of relatives, my in-laws. My husband's parents are my mother-in-law and father-in-law. His brother is my brother-in-law, and his sister is my sister-in-law." Alice wraps up the conversation by explaining how her husband's nieces and nephews relate to her. "They're children. My husband's nieces and nephews are also my nieces and nephews, but they are by marriage, not by blood." "Wow, Alice," Bob exclaims. "I never realized how complex family relationships could be, but you've explained it so well, I think I've got it now. So your aunts, uncles, and cousins are your extended family, and when you got married, you also gained in-laws, and the children of your cousins are your first cousins once removed. That's fascinating." Bob is now able to understand the concept of extended family. Bob is curious about Alice's relationship with her family. Alice chuckles lightly. "Well, Bob, my family is quite a mixed bag, I must say." She begins, "I'm closest to my little brother, Tim. We've always had this strong bond since we were kids. We share everything with each other, from secrets to dreams, and even our favorite chocolate chip cookies." Alice's voice warms up as she continues. "And then there's my grandmother, my dear old granny. I look up to her immensely. She's this amazing woman who has seen the world change right before her eyes. Her wisdom, her strength, her stories from the past, they've all been a guiding force for me. She's taught me to be patient, to be kind, and to stand up for what I believe in." "But you know, every family has its squabbles, right?" Alice adds with a hint of amusement. I argue the most with my older sister Sarah. We're polar opposites, you see. She's the organized, methodical one, always with a plan. And then there's me, the spontaneous, adventurous spirit. We bicker and argue over the silliest of things, but at the end of the day, we love each other dearly. And I think that's what makes our bond special. Our differences make us understand and appreciate each other more. Alice pauses for a moment, her voice softening. You know, Bob, family is not just about sharing the same blood or name. It's about those meaningful relationships we build, the love we share, and the memories we create together. It's about accepting each other with all our quirks and differences. Bob nods, soaking in Alice's words. He can see the love and warmth she has for her family. It's a beautiful thing, he thinks, to have such strong bonds with your family. Bob appreciates Alice's openness about her family. Now that we've navigated through Alice's family tree, we can summarize the key points. We've met a host of characters, each with their own distinct relationship to Alice. We've delved into the depth of these relationships, how they are described, and the role they play in Alice's life. First off, we met Alice's immediate family, her parents, her siblings, and her grandparents. We learned that her father and mother are the direct lineage, her siblings are her brothers and sisters, and her grandparents are her parents' parents. Simple, right? Then, we expanded our view to Alice's extended family. We met her aunts and uncles, her cousins, and her nieces and nephews. Remember, an aunt or an uncle is a sibling of one of Alice's parents, a cousin is a child of Alice's aunt or uncle, and a niece or nephew is a child of Alice's sibling. We also explored the concept of in-laws. Alice's brother's wife is her sister-in-law, and her husband's parents are her parents-in-law. The in-law comes from marriage, indicating a legal kinship. Throughout this journey, we've been using basic conversational English. We've learned how to describe these relationships in a simple, clear way. This is not only useful for English learners, but it's also the way we naturally talk about our families in daily conversation. But why are these relationships important? Well, they're the basis of our social structure. They define our place in the world. They shape our identities. They're the people we turn to in times of joy and sorrow. By understanding these relationships, we can better understand ourselves and the world around us. Moreover, understanding these relationships can help us connect with others. When we meet new people, we often ask about their family. By understanding how to describe family relationships, we can communicate more effectively. We can share our own stories and listen to others with greater empathy. In the end, family, in all its diverse forms, is about connection. It's about understanding and being understood. It's about being part of a community, a network of relationships that support and nourish us. So, as we conclude our journey through Alice's family tree, let's remember the key points. Parents, siblings, and grandparents are immediate family. Aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews are extended family. In-laws are related by marriage. These relationships are important, they define us, they connect us with others. And most importantly, let's remember to keep practicing. Keep using these terms, keep talking about family. The more you use them, the more natural they will become. And the more natural they become, the deeper your understanding of English and of the world around you will be. Remember, understanding and describing family relationships can enrich our conversations and deepen our connections with others. Keep practicing.